This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to the Pit Stop, where you are the real star of today's show, because we're just here to talk about what's going on in sim racing today, yesterday, or anything that we've talked about at any point in time. That is the whole point of doing these shows in the morning, being able to communicate with you guys, and being able to just talk about sim racing. Most of my friends in the real world, they don't want to hear about it, but you guys do, and that's what we're here to do each and every day. So today is one of those days that was funny for me, a little side note or side story, but I was literally on the phone doing some consultation with somebody who's setting up a sim center, and I was doing that until about 10 minutes before the show, trying to get off the phone, trying to get here, get ready, so I am way far behind. Usually I have all my news lined up, ready to go, and we can get through it pretty quickly. I did pull my stories up, I just didn't get to pre-read them like I normally do. So we'll just kind of go through and touch upon what's going on in sim racing. But before I get to that, I want to address Adrian here in our audience. And thank you for being here, Adrian. And Adrian, I'm not sure if you're the one who said, no, it's not a Simpit shirt. We'll talk about my shirt in a minute. It is hump day. Are you the one who mentioned that yesterday? I'm not sure if you're the second person or you're the same person repeating your opinion that I should stop doing these daily shows and just get back to doing regular shows, as you put it. My intentions are to do both. You say we all know the news. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think we all know the news. I used to have some websites that I could turn to for the news, and they've all kind of fallen off the planet. The other is, reading the news is one thing. Talking about it and having an opinion on it is another. Just because they made the story, that's not the end of the story to me. That is the beginning of the story. That is their take on the story. But what's most important to me is our opinions, our take, our angle. There's plenty of time for the regular other shows. We're doing that. I'm working on the Thrustmaster. Actually, this isn't working on the Thrustmaster review as we speak. Have that out in the next day or two at the very, very latest, and a few other products that I'm reviewing as well as DIY. So ultimately, there's room for all, and I like to have all of it, and I like doing this. So that's the way we're gonna do. That's the way we're gonna do it. I want to give you background. I saw your comment. I appreciate your opinion, and on one hand, I agree with you. There's great, tremendous value to the proper shows, the scheduled shows, whatever you want to call it. And I also feel there's tremendous value to these news shows. So that's the way it's going to be. Anyway, let's move on to today's news. I hope you appreciate my take or opinion on that. I'm all ears. I hope that didn't sound like I was trying to chew you out in any way, shape, or form, because I totally value your opinion and agree with you on one hand. And I also agree that this is something that we should be all doing or covering. So let's get to the news. Let's go back to the left. Start off with Forza. And they are having a poll. So right now, if you go to the Forza Twitter feed, you can actually vote on what their next exclusive car should be for a reward in their December Bounty Hunter. So do you want a free Ferrari 599, Honda Civic Type R, Ford Escort RS, that's a badass car, or a Nissan Nismo IDX? Anyway, if you're interested, you play Forza, and you want to know what the next bounty prize would be, you can get over there and vote. That's at the Forza Twitter feed. Moving on to Formula 1. This is actually Codemasters in general. We got a few stories about Codemasters today. But this here, snowed in. We've got something exciting for you to do. How about applying to work at Cody's? We're recruiting for game testers now. Just drop your CV or CV and covering letter to recruitment at codemasters.com to apply. It's as easy as that. So, this is a great story, and Adrian, didn't know if you caught this news story, but if you want to work with Codemasters, you want to get your foot in the door with a sim company, doing it as a tester for us sim racers is the easiest way to find our way in the door and find out the way the whole gaming industry works from the inside. It's the Thrustmaster TGT that I'm reviewing. Where is it? It's on the desk behind me. So that's in the works. So yeah, anyway, if you want to work for Codemasters, you want to help them make F1 2018 better, make Dirt 5 better, make Dirt Rally 2 better, whatever games they have up their sleeves, Grid, who knows. But I would definitely be sending my resume into them and trying to cash in on that job. Don't know what it pays, if it pays, but that is the way to get your way in the door. Get your foot in the door, find out how the industry really works from the inside. There was an update as well. So still on the topic of Codemasters, they did a mini update. This is an update to an update that addressed the teammate bug. So 1.11 to fix 1.1. That just came out as well. That was at GT Planet is where I found that story. Yesterday somebody mentioned, now I thought I'd said the words, but apparently I didn't say the words that the Project Cars 2 patch was out. I talked about it last week. I talked about the different things that were coming in the patch. We talked yesterday about Yorkie 065's tutorial on how to do the online championships, or actually I think the newest one was even how to maximize the points. So we have been talking about the patch. The patch is available and ready to go. So I just want to make sure that I clearly stated that, because I noticed that after the chat somebody said he didn't mention the Project Cars 2 patch. So just want to let you know that. Next up, this is this is at Super Data, Games and Interactive Media Intelligence. And these were the top rankings, grossing titles by earnings for 2017. And what's important to us, or to look at, is that Gran Turismo Sport came in at number 10, and Forza Motorsport came in at number 7. So does that mean that Forza did better, or is that just a timing? It came out a couple months in advance. Gran Turismo hasn't had that many months in business for 2017 with their release date, but it is cool to see that we have 2 sims up on the top 10 of the console side of things. Gosh, you could almost say Grand Theft Auto was a sim, or at least a driving game. You almost could. That's too bad, Sinister. That's really too bad. Just catching up with your guys' comments in chat. Next up, we had talked about there being no games for the Nintendo Switch. Here's a write-up at Indio Biscura talking about Gear Club Unlimited, the first racing sim for the Nintendo Switch. I didn't read the article, don't know anything about it. I don't even own a Nintendo Switch. But if you have one of these, or you have kids and they do, it looks like there is finally something to be driving properly on the Nintendo Switch, and that's pretty cool right there. Moving on, this is another Codemaster story. This is very interesting. This goes right in line with what we've been talking about, the changes in sim, what we're going to be seeing in the future. Codemasters is one of the oldest sim companies around. They've been doing it as long as anybody. They're out of the UK or Britain, England, whatever you want to call them, and they are actually looking to get on the London Stock Exchange. So these companies, they're small companies at this point, and they're usually not large enough to even be on the stock exchange or be looking for outside investment in that way. But you think of a company, the moment it goes public, it does change things. It puts much more emphasis on profits, on paying back the shareholders. Sometimes it can be good because it can be an infusion of money coming to the company, which could be used for the greater good, and it could be used for the purposes of greed. And I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying when any company goes to the stock exchange, it is going to be a big cash grab, and then will it translate into better products? And I hate to say it, but I dare say it, at some point the emphasis of the company becomes making the stockholders happy, not necessarily the purchasers of the product. So, but again, this is the changing of the times. This is our market and where it's going to be in the coming years. And if we see one go, we might see more than one go. So that should be pretty good. Have a good one, Tom. Next one, we mentioned this, but just another article. I'm just going to, anytime I see these certain keywords right now, you can pretty much count on me talking about it, or at least bringing it up. And I'm not going to dwell on the article, but here's another article. GamblingSites.com. Could esports be featured in the 2024 Paris Olympics? This is a conversation that is happening in many different directions and in many different arenas. And it's something that we're also going to have to really consider. Does it affect sim racing? Probably not in the first gen. I would imagine with the first gen, they're going to probably stick to games that are already heavy on the scene. So, but maybe the next Olympic after that. Maybe, can you imagine winning a gold medal for your country in your favorite sim? I mean, yeah, I want to earn a living doing this, but there's something special about the concept of the Olympics. There's something very special about representing your company in that manner. And I hate to imagine how much the Nordic region is going to dominate this when it really goes to that level. So, awesome, Sai. Sai Yip uploaded a setup. Next topic. I'm done with the news unless there's anything you guys want to talk about. You guys did mention the IRFFB. I went to the site. I looked at it. I got an email from somebody saying they downloaded it. Something didn't work. They tried to uninstall it. It wouldn't uninstall. And honestly, it gave me cold feet. And I was like, well, maybe I'll wait for a little more information before I try this one out. So, I have not tried it yet. I do have a reason for not trying it, which is, at this point, I didn't really want to make any more changes to my race rig. And despite that being my job, I just didn't feel like having a wheel force feedback related issue when I'm in the middle of doing a wheel review. So, we're going to have to hold off from me. If any of you have tried it out, definitely let us know what you think in the chat. Let us know if you had any issues with it. Let us know if it was as good as everybody says, because I've heard only good things other than the one person who had my ultimate nightmare scenario with it. So you can check out IRFFB if you'd like and get back to us and let us know how it's working out. So that is going to do it for today's news. Last thing I'm going to mention, and Sai got ahead of us a little bit, but we are going to be at Monza this week in the Battle of the Beamers series. That's tomorrow night at 6, Friday night at 6 for the race. Tonight at 6, we'll have our open practice. I'll stream my practice from my side of things. A lot of you guys will be out there with us as well. Stan, I got your email about that. I am looking into it. I don't know. I agree. 20-minute races are too short. I'm looking into that, but I don't know if that's something that we'll be able to deal with. Mitchie, no problem. And Dennis, you're right. Loose is fast and on the edge of control. On the edge and you're out of control. Days of Thunder. RGR, it worked great for you. Cool, cool. Yeah, as soon as I have the wheel review done, I'll download that and try it out. I just didn't want to make any errors with my system in case that wheel needed to get back on right now. Oh, that's too bad, Doug. We'll be back Thursday and Friday for the race, though. So, but that is going to do it. So join us tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for that practice. I'd much rather you're out there racing with us than just watching the stream, but if all you can do is watch, that's great. And then beyond that, we'll be back tomorrow night and Friday night with the races. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Daily Show, with another pit stop. And beyond that, I am working on the TGT review. So lots coming, lots going on in the background behind the scenes. So we will have much more to cover on the Simpit. So anyway, and we are looking to make a change to make it a slightly longer race next season. But that isn't necessarily in my control. That's something that's also affected by Sim Racing System. But I will talk to them and find out what we can do. I'd like to see 30 to 45 minutes would be nice. I don't know if I want to go to an hour, hour and a half, because we are trying to keep it a little on the simple side. But we'll find out. We will find out what's going on and what we can and cannot do. And we need to start thinking about next season's cars and tracks. We only have 2 more weeks after this one. So that will definitely be something. Pizza Roulette. Michael, that video came out. Already did the pizza show. Don't have a link, but if you do a search for Sim Pizza, there are a couple. There's the original and then the final verdict show as well. And I dare to say that that was regular programming or you know, not the live stream. Anyway, so that's going to do it for today, unless you guys have any other questions, topics, things we should cover. Adrian, I hope you liked my answer. I appreciate your opinion on the topic, and you know, I think one thing you'll discover or learn about me in the Simpit is that it's a very open project. There is no written in stone answer to anything that we're doing or anything that we're going to do in the future. I just want to make sure we're doing the best thing we can for sim racing in general and doing our best to help the show grow, which includes giving people what they want. So, point noted, and the real balance is for me to do both and all of the shows. So that is going to do it for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the pit crew. It wouldn't be fun without your conversation. It would be just me talking about the news, and I wouldn't even tune in for that. So again, thank you for being part of the pit crew and being here, making the show exactly what it is. And I had a lot of fun today. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be back tonight with that practice session at 6. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.